Hello there, it's Sunday. I'm Del, this is Dishes with Del, and this week we are learning how to make mayonnaise. We're making vegan mayo, we're making basil mayo, we're making curry mayo, and just that plain classic French mayonnaise. Don't go buying it from the shops, it's full of a load of nasties. Let's just make it ourselves at home. I guarantee you've got all the ingredients in the cupboard anyway. Just had to check that I didn't have the cupboard open. This is one of the most versatile things that you could possibly make, and you can make it exactly how you like it. So let's get into it and learn how to make mayonnaise. A world of possibilities. The choices are absolutely endless. You just have to decide which one is for you. We're gonna make a classic mayo today, where we just do it the classic French way, and we're gonna make a vegan mayo. We're gonna use the water of chickpeas. This stuff is just absolute gold. Doesn't actually have to just be from chickpeas, can be any bean juice, but obviously if it was kidney beans, it would have a funny red color, so maybe stay away from the red bean and just stick to the white beans. You can use different oils, sesame, veg, olive, you can use nut, you can use avocado, you can use just anything you like. The vinegar, you could use malt vinegar, you could use white wine vinegar, you can use apple cider vinegar, endless possibilities. Mustard, hot, spicy, slightly sweeter, American. I could talk about it all day long about all the different things that you could put in mayonnaise, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to show you how to make it. So first up, we're going to make vegan. So the first thing you need to do is separate the aquafaba from the chickpeas. And the chickpeas you can make into a great little snack. I've added a link to another one of my videos about what you can do with them. So this is the liquid from your can of chickpeas, and basically we're going to use it like it's an egg. So I would take 3 tablespoons of the aquafaba, and then this is where you can customize it to your liking. But I think we're going to make a little bit of sun-dried tomato mayo, because that would just be absolutely delicious. You're going to take a teaspoon of some Dijon mustard. Add that too. Probably don't need this spoon in there also. And then we just need a little bit of acid. So in this case, I'm going to use a tablespoon of vinegar. But also what's really great is you could put in some lemon juice. And you know, if I was making a chipotle mayonnaise, for instance, I might want to add lime juice, because lime and chipotles go together really well. Sometimes you just have to think a little bit outside the box. Think, hey, I'm making a Mexican mayonnaise. What do they use a lot in Mexico that's acidic? Limes. And then I'm just going to sit it on a little cloth so it doesn't swizzle all around the place. And we just got to blend it. And I mean, that's it. That's your vegan mayonnaise done. So I don't know why you'd ever want to go and buy it from the shop. But what you want to do first is mix this stuff in the bottom. So we need to kind of whip up that aquafaba a little bit. So as you can see there, it's become slightly greater in volume. And so now we're just going to add our oil. And just balance that there. Like I said, this one we're going to make like a sun-dried tomato mayonnaise. So I'm going to use the oil from the sun-dried tomatoes old jar. And then you just want to gently add in the oil. You can watch them videos on like TikTok and stuff like that, where they just put it all in and dump it. But sometimes it splits. So, you know, the old-fashioned way still only takes a minute. And I think it's totally worth doing. Make sure that's on right. And because you sat it here on a cloth, it's great because you can tip it slightly, so you're going to get a little vortex which you can pour the oil into. So that's that bit of oil in, and then again, this is up to you, whichever kind of oil you'd like to use, neutral, olive, nut, whichever. But then we're just going to add in 200 mils of oil. Also, what's quite scary, how much oil is in mayonnaise, which is why you shouldn't eat loads of it, but it's delicious on everything, so whatever. And every now and again like that, you might get a little bit of oil that sits on the top. So just bring your stick blender out, give it a little knock, and just work it back in. And here is a really great tip. If you ever think that it's about to split, you can add a tiny dash of water because it will just slightly loosen it, and then you can finish adding your oil, but hopefully it should bring it together enough. And when I say a little dash, it would be something like this, just so you can continue to blend it. And that's it, all mixed together. I'm just going to add in some sun-dried tomato, or I'm just going to add in some chopped sun-dried tomatoes, not the oil, that's already in there, and then just mix it up. And then just before you take it out of here, always good to give it a taste and just see where it's at, because sometimes you might want to add a little bit more acidity, or you might need to season it. And with that taste there, I can see we need to add a little bit of extra salt, but obviously the sun-dried tomatoes are quite salty in taste, so you know that's why it's always important to taste it. But I'm going to add a tiny bit of salt, and I am actually just going to add a tiny dash more vinegar, just because it just needs a little bit more acidity. So give that a mix, and one final taste. Oh, and that's just lovely. If you're a vegan and you've been eating that horrible vegan mayonnaise that they sell in the supermarket that's like white and tasteless, make your own. And you can customize it to any way that you like. So that there is vegan mayonnaise. Now let's get on to the eggy one. Vegan mayo, so easy. Now we're going to move on to the classic French. So we're going to make quite a bit here because I'm going to make a few different flavors. So I'm going to take 3 egg yolks. Oh, try not to break them. And then always just keep your egg white. I would say put it in the freezer and maybe use it for making meringues, but no one ever does that. And plus I managed to get some egg yolk in here, so you can't do that anyway. So maybe just put it in the fridge and you could have a really boring egg white omelette. That's my suggestion for your egg whites. Now, like I said here, we're making a classic French one, so we want to go pretty hard for the Dijon mustard. I'm going a really big teaspoon of Dijon, because we want it to be nice and mustardy, because classic French mayo is that flavour. And then we're going to go 3 and a bit more tablespoons of vinegar. Same like the other mayo. We'll sit it on a little cloth just so we can tip it a little bit and we can and it won't move around. Give it a blend first. So we've incorporated the egg and the mustard and the vinegar, and then we can just add our oil. I've got about 400 ml of veg oil here, but again, up to you, whichever oil you like. Slowly dribble it in at the start, keep your blender blending, and then you can go a little bit faster as it gets a bit thicker. Just always try and keep your blender near to the top of the emulsion, near to the top of the mayonnaise. This way you have a better chance of the oil blending in quicker and faster and not splitting. And every now and again go up and down so you get the wetter stuff at the bottom to mix with the thicker stuff at the top. In fact, I've only added 300 ml because, as you can see here, it's starting to separate from the other stuff. So you could add a tiny touch of water just to slightly thin it and add the rest of the oil. But actually, I'm going to leave it just like this. And just like that, we've got a classic French mayonnaise. And again, same like the other one, we'll give it a little taste. It's sharp and rich and creamy, but it does need a little bit of salt. But what I'm actually going to do with this is we'll keep some classic, and then I'm just going to show you 2 little ways that you could make it a little bit more fancy. So I'm going to add a little bit of pesto to one and some curry powder to the other. And then we've made 4 amazing mayonnaises in just 5 minutes. If you're ever looking for something to add these mayonnaises to, well, I've got a free little mini cookbook out. It's 10 great sides that are a fantastic way to fancy up any meal. The link for it is in the description box down below, so you can download it for free. And who knows what you could add one of these great mayonnaises to. As you can see there, I didn't add any salt before I separated it, because these two I'm going to add some seasonings to, which might already again be salty enough. But to our last bit of plain mayonnaise that's left, I will give it a little season. Just with a bit of salt, and we don't have much left in here, so just a few little cracks of the grinder should do. And again, give it a little taste. Oh yeah, yeah, great. So that's our classic there, which is just absolutely delicious. If you was to go and get like a classic French cookbook or a learn how to cook cookbook, I can guarantee you that there would be about 5 pages on egg-based mayonnaises and the different things you could do with it. You know, they're so integral to many a dish and a really great way to add a little something different to the side of your plate. So then with these last two that are left, I'm just going to add a little bit of curry powder to this one to make a simple curried mayonnaise. And this would be amazing. You could mix it through your deviled egg mix and you'd have a nice little curry mayonnaise on the side. And what's good with the curry mayo is if you left it overnight, that flavour would just infuse a little bit more into the mayonnaise. Such a quick and easy way to make it taste completely different. And then finally, to this last mayonnaise, I'm just going to add a little bit of pesto. Mix that together. And there you have another great, easy, different flavoured mayo. And there is 4 different mayonnaises. I mean, the vegan one, so far so quick, and honestly, any vegan will love you for it because it's so much better than shop bought stuff. A curry mayo, a pesto mayo, and just a plain classic French mayo. Like I said, these are all so customizable, so quickly to change the flavor. You can put in anything you want, and I mean, you can take everything to the next level. If you wanted to, you could make the pesto that goes into the mayo, but sometimes you don't always have time for that, and you might have some pesto in the fridge. And you know, with the curried mayo, you could add into it some coriander and some lime juice and make it a little bit fresher. Oh. Just noticed that I've got mayonnaise all over my watch. Perfect. Oh, it's sun-dried tomato. Must have gone in there at some point. Maybe we can find it on the video and see where it was. And just a plain classic French mayo. The ones with the fresh egg in, obviously you can keep in the fridge for probably up to a week, but the vegan mayo will definitely last a lot longer in the fridge. You can also use pasteurized egg yolk, which is available at the supermarket, but you don't always have that, and I can guarantee that you nearly always have all the ingredients to make just plain mayonnaise at home. So that's it. This is mayonnaise. If you've enjoyed this and learning how to make mayonnaise, but actually think, you know what, Del, I'd probably like to learn some other stuff, you should give me a like and subscribe, and that way you'll never miss out on any of my videos that I bring out. Be it long ones on a Sunday or the shorts during the week, there is something for everyone. If you're ever looking for some great recipe inspo as well, you can head to my website. The link is in the description down below. And yeah, these recipes will be on there too. So I will see you guys next week. I hope that you enjoyed mayonnaise.